What was the most petty thing an adult did to you, when you were younger? In Cub Scouts, we were doing the Pinewood Derby. I worked really hard on my car, my dad helped, of course. I had already won the first 3 rounds, and before the final round, one of the dads of the other kids picked up my car to hand it to me. It slipped out of his hand, and broke the wheels when it hit the floor. I'm convinced it was not an accident, and he was sabotaging my car so his kid would win. This was over 30 years ago, and I'm still salty about it. If you could have a sixth sense, what would you want? My girlfriend is an early childhood teacher and I asked her this question. Her answer: my sixth sense would be detecting if kids had peed on their shoelaces accidentally, so if I was helping them tie their shoes, I could know if they had pee on them. People of Reddit, what is scariest thing that happened to you that was not paranormal? I was traveling in Egypt with 2 male friends, all of us 17/18ths at the time, 1989. We were walking down the street in Alexandria and 2 men got out of a black car, grabbed me and threw me inside. My friends jumped onto the car and held on while it tried to drive away, then other people started crowding around it and shouting, so they opened the door and shoved me back out and just drove away. People from HR, what's the most unusual, weirdest thing you found out through the employee background check? Asked during an interview for a job, why this 18-year-old who claimed he had spent 9 years in the army, 2 years at Sandhurst, British Military Academy, had in fact spent 3 years inside for car theft with violence, we would not have discriminated against him if he had told the truth, but this was taking the piss. Redditors who grew up in abusive, physical, emotional, sexual, etc. households, what is your story? My dad is an emotionally and physically abusive piece of shit. I've seen him beating my mom multiple times. They finally divorced when I was 8. My mom went back to school and got her nursing degree, and we were better off than we ever were with my dad in the picture. I'm the first person in my family to graduate with a bachelor's degree, 2 of them, and I went on to get 2 master's degrees. Now I work in Child Protective Services, and I try to keep assholes like my dad from beating their kids and wives. What did your friend do that accidentally turned you on? I had a friend who I hung out with during high school. We would make our homework together and always study together for the big tests. She was attractive, but I never looked at her that way. One day when we were in the library studying, I noticed that she wore a different perfume. When I asked about it, she came very close to me and made me sniff her neck. I never knew that I could get a boner so fast. After that, things went further and eventually we got married years later, LOL. At what moment did you realize, fuck, I'm old? When I fell down at work and no one laughed. Instead, 3 people came running over to make sure I was okay. Edited to clarify, I'm only 36. I was walking in our break room and stepped down wrong, I guess. I fell into the stove and rolled my ankle. Thank you all for the awards. Kinda weird that my most popular post is about me falling down. Let me assure all of you that I was okay after this fall and have gone on to fall down 2 different sets of stairs and trip over my dogs on multiple occasions. What is the single biggest dick move in all of history? The original white elephant gifting from the King of Siam. This person would give this royal gift to people he found irritating and be entertained by the recipient's failing efforts to upkeep such an animal. Why don't they just give it away, you ask? Back in the day, receiving a gift and giving it away was perceived as an insult. Go figure. And giving away a gift from a neighboring kingdom is, well, that much bigger of an insult. So no dice. Economies apparently have failed in order to upkeep a royal gift like this. Honestly, dick move, King of Siam. Edit, I'm seeing some comments about giving away the elephant, killing it, or letting it die, so I'm going to clarify something. If you are given a gift, out of respect you take care of that gift, because failing to do so would be taken as an insult from the gifting party. The King of Siam knew this and, for his pleasure, gave his opposing neighbors this annoyance of an animal, an ultimatum. Either fulfill the upkeep of this economy-sucking, worthless elephant, or I come invade your kingdom and slaughter you and your people. Being as powerful as he seemed to be, he probably sent delegations to these provinces to ensure the elephant was still around for years to come. LPT, keep that elephant alive. Truck drivers, what's a creepy story you've got from the middle of nowhere? Trucker here. I think the best creepy thing that ever happened to me was I was heading from Tucson, Arizona up into Salt Lake City, UT. Well, this was a few years ago and the main highway had been taken out in a flash flood, was under construction, so I had to take a weird detour through the mountains in lower Utah. Well, it was getting late and I was getting tired, so I pulled off onto the shoulder and went to sleep in my bunk. Now this was in the middle of nowhere, closest town was like 40 miles away, so it is completely pitch black outside once I turn the lights off. Anyway, around 4 a.m. I wake up because I'm hearing something messing with my truck, like playing with the air and power cables between my cab and the trailer, which is literally 6 inches from where my head is at, but on the outside of the cab. Then I feel something climb onto the landing that's on the back of my truck and it shakes my whole truck, so I'm guessing something around 200 to 300 pounds was climbing around back there. I'm thinking like a mountain lion or a bear. At this point I'm wide the fuck awake and I want to get this thing away from me, so I slam my hand into my cab wall trying to scare whatever is out there, slam hard enough to really make it loud. I then hear someone, a male, scream bloody murder and I hear them fall off the back of my truck. I then hear about 15 other people all around my truck yelling. I climb up front, turn on my lights and illuminate a squad of Army reserves doing their midnight ruck march and capture drills. Turns out these guys were supposed to go find an abandoned truck and secure it for their midnight drills. That truck was 3 miles back down the road. They were not expecting me to be sleeping there, and thought I was part of the drill. I'm ex-military, so after explaining I was not part of their test and legit was just there out of coincidence, we laughed it off. They had to radio to their CO and tell him I was there and not have the other squads bother me. Edit. Wow, thank you for the awards and the likes, never had this many before. Welcome to Area 52. The site where the military keeps all its stupidest things. What is kept there? You laugh, but funny thing actually, there is a military museum in Germany operated by the German army showing off actual technology and stuff that didn't make it. Right at the entrance there is a wall full of reports of the dumbest accidents happening there. Like a soldier shooting another one in the butt by sitting on his rifle because the stone bench was cold. Or a tank driver that tried to get a jammed shell out of the loader by putting a boom asterisk barrier into the barrel and driving against a wall. I imagine Area 52 would have boxes and boxes of this kind of stuff. Edit. The link for people who are interested, where Teknisk study in Samlung Koblenz. And then she kissed my face, yeah.